If a person had an illness, then probably because if they're giving more medication, then they'd be able to give it to the patient and they'd be able to stay in hospital less than they normally do.
The way that the NHS could help to prevent illness and recover people quicker is by actually getting the diagnostics to them a lot quicker and sooner so they know. Like, for example, my mum recently has been having brain scans for the last 2 years and they've only just found out that she's got a brain tumour. Now, to me, that's a bit upsetting for both of us because we've waited for so long just to find out what's wrong. So I think that they need to speed it up a bit, speed the process up and get back to people as soon as possible instead of waiting for so long.
I suffer from a condition myself called Parkinson's disease, and I use my local GP as support, along with my chemist, who's very helpful, because in this part of this condition, your memory goes a little bit, and you need to get your prescriptions on time. We also have a specialist Parkinson nurse, which is quite important, supplied by the National Health, and I see her about once every 3 months. I see a specialist once a year. And I think with that sort of support, we can manage the condition myself.
I think that there should be more education at school age rather than when people leave school. I prefer that. It's something I never learnt about while I was at school, and it's something you pick up as you get older. If you could learn, kids get all sorts of education these days, sex education, whatever, but how much health education do they get? I don't know. From a personal point of view, obviously I'm at risk for being overweight. I'm trying to do things about it. I'm going through many processes at the moment. Diabetes is an area that does worry me greatly.
I think there's a lot more support, or there should be a lot more support with people who have a long-term condition. I mentor somebody who has MS, and I know that she doesn't get enough support from her carers. A lot of the time they sort of leave her in bed until mid-morning, which isn't good enough for her because she needs to be moving. If more nurses could be working within the community to offer that kind of support to her, I know that would help her to manage her own condition so that she could walk by herself, just walk into her kitchen. You know, she doesn't want a lot, that's all she really wants to do.
I think that offering some kind of free exercise programs, even if you start as young as children, school holidays, the parents often can't afford to send them to a gym, they can't afford to send them to a sports centre. If these were free or supported, then I think they would learn, they'd be active, and that should take them through life.
People could lose loads of weight if they started doing walking for stuff like cancer and stuff, and if they went into the gym much more, or if they went on to Weight Watchers and started eating more healthy food than fat foods.
Making sure with nowadays, with a lot of people coming over that don't speak fluent English, that having interpreters there would help people from different background and also make it so that they were more willing to go to the hospital rather than leaving it too late to go when the problems got worse. Also, for people who are disabled, access to the hospital, because I know that's one thing that my grandparents do worry about a lot, getting there and back.
I do think the NHS services are safe because of one experience when I had a car crash and they carried out me on a stretcher, which I thought was good cooperation and team skills made by all the team, to be honest. And luckily enough, I was lucky and there was nothing wrong with me.
No, I don't think they are safe because I had a bad experience with my daughter when she was born. She was being sick and they wouldn't listen to us. Then when she was about 3 months old, because she was kept being sick, they got her in for 5 weeks and finally put her tube down. I thought we should stop being sick, obviously. So to me, that was a bad experience.
I think people have poorer health in this area because of the way the area actually is. There's a lot of rough families around, there's a lot of close families around, so if one person falls out with another, they're going to get attacked. It's always like a built up area as well, and living in this area I've known that there's quite a lot of drug users around, So it's walking the streets at night, it's quite scary. I've been threatened before, my friends have been threatened before. I've been threatened with a knife outside my own house, and I've seen my mum pushed around with a baby in her arms, and it's just not really a nice area to live in at the minute. But the NHS could help by advertising things where, like, come here for safety. If you get threatened, come and talk to us, just like a little drop-in centre. I mean, it could be based anywhere local. So people, anybody at any time could just drop in and say, I feel threatened, I feel under attack, I don't know what to do. And then people can get advice on what to do and how to avoid things like that.
I live in this area all my life, and it is an underprivileged area. Mainly jobs, no jobs in the area, poor education, lots of diet problems where people are not eating properly, a lot of junk food shops up and down, about 10 down the main road, drug problems in the area, no work. I think it's lack of self-esteem. Some of these young guys, butch guys, have walked to the doctors. I think they're afraid of going to the doctors. Same with the girls, they don't take proper checkups and things. There's no sexual education available in the area. I think one of the solutions could be a drop-in centre, like perhaps in this establishment, where people could free come to come in and take various health checks on a multiple basis, rather than just going to the GP with one item. They could come in and have sexual checks, smoking cessation, blood tests. You know, the whole thing should be tried to do on one site, with a feeling where people can come along and not be under any pressure with the GP, because I think some people are frightened of GPs.
I do think we could make it like much easier to access for the people, for the NHS. We could do more advertisement on it and like go out door to door or something like that, so everybody knows where it actually is and where it's based at. We could do transport there, better communication skills with the police and the fire service, so then there's a lot more communication and stuff like that.
The local NHS facilities need to work together, need to speak to each other and give them access to things they might need, like physical activity in the local area. There's plenty of opportunity and plenty of places where they could go, where they might not necessarily need medication, but they could refer them to those places if they could work with them, maybe subsidise memberships and access to gyms, to health facilities. I think that would work well.
I think we can help old people to live well by ensuring that they're playing a part in their community. So there are support groups for them to attend, just to keep them active, to stop them from being lonely. Just, you know, things that are close to home that they can get involved with, even if it's just to get them out of the house.
There are a few ways we could, in which we could help older people live well and stay out of hospital, is by encouraging them to take part in the community. If they go to a communal place, whether it's a sheltered housing or a specially adapted place, they can join in whatever's going on, they can get to meet people, and it does well for their well-being. Also, they can actually help at these places, volunteer, even if it's just making tea, helping put out things. It keeps them occupied, and they do actually do very much better in their life.
I believe the location is very important. For example, being on a bus stop for people to get to, especially the elderly people. And also, a lot of times I've found personally that going to the doctor's surgery can be quite hard, because a lot of them tend to be between 9 and 5, which are the hours that people work. So possibly the opening times being extended after 5 o'clock or even earlier, or possibly a drop-in centre on a Saturday or Sunday or something like that.
I think there should be an avenue to look for volunteer work within the NHS. I volunteer here, I only do a few hours a week, but it would be nice to be able to contribute in that way. At least I'd feel from my own point of view I was giving a bit back then.
I think you should be getting more activities out there than getting people out of the house and doing stuff.
There's a medical centre down the road, there's one here. If they all worked together and spoke to each other and held, say, drop-in clinics where locals could just go in and ask for advice and ask for what's available, I think that would work well.